All right. So, I wanted to talk about material handling. I see a lot of, I shouldn't say a lot, I see um, sometimes people do kind of insane things with their materials, and if I can now hopefully prevent some of this, I think the world would be a better place. So, these things are expensive, right? And it's kind of crazy to not try to get the most out of what you got here. So, um, I want to talk about bucktail. I want to talk about synthetics, and I want to do a little bit on glue and stuff too. So, bucktail first of all, yeah. Um, if you need a small amount of bucktail or a short amount of bucktail, get a small tail and use that, right? Um, Far too often, I see folks tying in, you know, um, primo bucktail and then tying it in like here, yeah, and then literally cutting off that much of it. That's not a practice that anybody should be doing. If you need shorter hair, just get a smaller tail, right? They're cheaper. Yeah? Don't buy long tails and then destroy them. That's crazy. Um, a good rule of thumb is, and the rule of thumb that I've always used is literally a rule of thumb, is that if you have to cut more than the width of your thumbnail, yeah, stop what you're doing and get a smaller tail. Yeah? Out of all the hundreds of tails that I've been through, I've never in my life ever cut off more than that much from bucktail. Yeah. You're doing yourself a disservice and you're doing the bucktail a disservice. Please, please, if you need shorter hair, just use shorter hair. Cutting long hair short is not the same. It's not the same thing. You're um, just please use smaller tails. Okay. Um, Synthetics, right? So a lot of times they come in packages like this, right? So grab the bottom, right? And just pinch a little bit what you need and just pull it out the top, right? Just, a little bit out the top, right? Like just pinch the bottom, right? Just pinch what you need and pull it out the top, right? Pinch what you need and pull it out the top. Yeah? Some of this stuff, like if you take Steve Farrar Flash Blend out of the pack, good luck trying to get it back in. Okay? Um that's that's a good tip right there. So now let's just say, right, I need a some of this synthetics, right, for this fly, right? So instead of like choosing what I want, exactly how much I want, tying it in, and then cutting this, right? Which I've seen a lot of people do. That's not. So take about a quarter of what you need, right? Double it over, right? Yeah. Because a lot of times, and then see where you're at, right? If you need more, just take a little more, right? You can pull taper into it, right? And that's it. Yeah? Now you're only cutting off this much, right? So it's like with this is like squimpish hair. This is squimpish hair, right? Like, and it's kind of the same thing with like Nayat, right? So I want to do a tail, right? So just take like a little bit less, yeah, than what you think you need, right? Because I'm not just gonna tie it in like this and then tie it here and then cut all that off, right? take a little bit less than what you need, right? Shed the shorts, right? Pinch the longest, right? And then the next longest, right? And then the next longest, right? Yeah. Now, if you need more, just fold this over, right? Ow. Cut here. Right? Shed a little bit of shorts, right? Now look. Yeah? You can do that same thing with Nyat, with Flash. You know, when you're dealing with Flash, instead of taking the whole thing, right, and then instead of like taking this and tying it in, right, take about a quarter of what you would need, fold it over, right, yeah, see what I'm saying? It's like with feathers too. You try to use feathers at their full length, right? Whether that's, you're talking about like ostrich feathers, right? Like if I need that much, take from there, right? But if I only need this much, take from down here. Yeah? Always try to use feathers at their full length. Don't take a feather from here and tie it in halfway and then cut it, right? It's even when you want to do like tails and stuff, always try to use feathers, like as much of the feather as you can, because like that rigidity from the stem, that helps you, right? And this part of the feather, the taper, helps you, right? Especially when you're doing things like semper flies and stuff, that helps you, right? Like if pretend this was a dry fly, a big long dry fly feather, right? We're tying dry flies, right? You start at the tip, right? And then tie it in there. And then the next fly, you come in, right? And then you tie it in there, right? You don't just tie it in the middle, right? And then cut half of it and throw the other half away, right? Yeah, I think that's, oh, I know people are fond of the brush, right? The brush Zap-A-Gap and stuff, right? But I don't know if y'all ever mess with that stuff, but honestly, I always end up throwing about a third of the bottle away. And you end up going through more of it than you use, in my opinion. The solution I found is the 1 ounce bottle, yeah, with these tips, right? You get these. Oh, I should have had this prepared. Sorry, should have had this. You get these tips, right? They're like an applicator tip, right? And you just use this, and then when the tip gets all crappy, you just break it, you just, you know, pull it off and then put another one on, right? And you can get, like, you know, way down applications, like way down into very small, you know. It's not, you're literally getting the most out of your glue, right? You know, like this one's kind of old, right? Because, but like, you know, you're getting the most out of your glue. I've had this bottle for months, right? And it's not even half empty. I tie a lot.